More updates, more drama, more sorrow, more laughter. Let's get to it. You may remember my name is Musa. I'm an attorney, and I have been for the last 25 years. I practice in 3 different jurisdictions, and we're going to talk about a few things today. First things first, we want to talk about what happened with Kristi Noem. As you may or may not know, her husband has been outed as some sort of trans dressing. I'm not exactly sure. But, when you have such a hard stance against something like that, and it turns out that it hits so close to home, it's really humiliating. Again, I believe that the hacker was one of the people that was impacted by Kristi Noem's policies, or the Trump policy on immigration. Needless to say, that person has absolutely no regrets, and it seems as though nobody's denying it. Everybody's just trying to figure out how to deal with it, which is bizarre because it's a private thing that people shouldn't have to deal with, but they're the ones who made such a BFD out of it, right? So it's like, you hypocrites. Next, if you heard the ramblings of the occupant of the White House with regard to when the war is going to end and how everything's done and they achieved regime change, let's remember, okay, it took us years and a huge scandal to replace the Sandinistas in Nicaragua with the Sandinistas. It took us 20 years and $1 trillion to replace the Taliban with the Taliban. And it took us about 75,000 American lives to replace Ho Chi Minh with Ho Chi Minh in Vietnam. So this is where we are here, right? And now we've replaced the Khomeini with the Khomeini, somebody who's more hardline, and as far as we know, has now withdrawn the fatwa against nuclear weapons. Briefly, the prior Khomeini had a fatwa, which is like a written religious law that said that it's forbidden to create a nuclear weapon based on his understanding of Islam. New guy doesn't think like that at all. New guy thinks, no, we get whatever we need to exist. We are a 3,000-year-old civilization, and we're proud, and we're going to exist. So, in the ramblings of the White House occupant, you're able to hear him talk about how the war is going to be done in 2, maybe 3 weeks. 2, maybe 3 weeks. And they keep saying that. And Kegseth keeps saying that too. But I don't know if you've realized, and you should look at the Haaretz. Haaretz is an Israeli newspaper, the one newspaper not owned by Benjamin Netanyahu. And it is a very bizarre outlook that they have. At this point, they're saying that based on the 12-day war and based on this war, that Israel and the United States are set to run out of interceptors by April 16th. 2, maybe 3 weeks away. So what would happen then if they run out of interceptors and they decide that we're just going to leave it as is? They're going to leave Iran in a much stronger position than they were before. The entire world will know that they control the Strait of Hormuz, and then not only do they control the Strait of Hormuz, but they're going to use the Chinese yuan in order to be able to do it. And that is going to destroy the American economy. Part of the biggest thing that the American economy had going for it was the fact that oil was being sold on the US dollar, and that US dollar would ultimately get reinvested back into our treasuries. It seems like those days are gone. So to wrap it up, we've lost lives of service members, civilian lives in Israel, countless lives in Iran. We'll be replacing the old Khomeini with a younger, more hardline Khomeini, and we'll be giving up the Strait of Hormuz as an open area where you can do it and then have oil sales done through the USD. So that's what Operation Epstein's Fury is doing. And finally, we're going to talk about the Supreme Court, birthright, citizenship, and DEI. And when I talk DEI, I mean clearly Justice Alito. It's like oh, fuck, we have to represent the really dumbass white dude that is just a dumb fuck. So, looks like we have Gorsuch. That's for the normal dudes. We got a black guy. We got some women. But we really need a dumb fuck. And so they brought on Alito. And he's representative of the DEI dumb fucks. Listening to the argument, I can tell you that the questions were very poignant. Listening to Judge Barrett's questions, she had very good questions. So did Judge Jackson. All the other judges came in and either tried to bolster a position or tried to take away from a position. Because basically what the United States is asking is that the codification of birthright citizenship be overturned. They're not asking for a new interpretation. And that's what the argument was by those against this. And everybody was asking very poignant questions, using very specific examples, like the Wan case where there was a Chinese immigrant, and it was basically racist. We don't want Chinese here. That's basically what they said. And so now they're using this case, which ultimately was codified at a later date into the amendment as a birthright citizenship. And here the state is saying that it's been interpreted wrong ever since. That it's been interpreted wrong. And it's been interpreted wrong since the 1880s, and it was a Roosevelt staffer who actually made this policy into law. That's garbage. It's really not the case. And nobody really believed any of that nonsense. But they sure did catch Alito hook, line, and sinker because he's not really a judge. He's an operative, right? And this is why people don't have really any sort of faith or respect in the judiciary anymore. They see it for what it is. They see it for a partisan show, right? Which leads me to the next situation I want to talk about, the new law in Israel. And the new law in Israel came out, said that basically you can kill Palestinians, and you can kill them if they kill a Jewish person. And so they've created these new laws that just basically harden the apartheid. So think about this. Here's a country that's about this big. They're getting absolutely hammered right now. People are dying. Their military is on the verge of collapse, and their economy is tanking. So says Harrods, not me. And their biggest concern is finding another way to kill Palestinians. And if you saw the CNN journalists attacked, that's how it is every day there. Every fucking day. I've seen it and I've lived it. Those people are savages. Those settlers don't think that they're a separate group. And what AIPAC and these other people come out here and say, oh, we're so angry about the settler violence. What do you think those real estate things that they're pushing are? Why do you think the military goes and protects them? They're lying to you. These are feral, savage people. And if you don't believe me, go watch and look for yourself. Go watch the documentary called The Settlers. Go look at any sort of settlements that are happening right now in the West Bank, and take a look at any of the laws, even in Harrods. If you read Harrods and the Jerusalem Post, they are quite shocked by it as well. So that's it for today. Hit me down in the comments if you want me to follow up on anything that we discussed. I can get deeper into any specific issue. Please like, follow, and share. I appreciate it.